Skibidi toilet, the latest trend that, depending on who you are, has either enthralled or annoyed you to no end. It's showing no signs of slowing down in popularity. But have you noticed a trend within this trend? One that brings back memories of a not too distant past, where kids' content found itself morphed horrifically with adult content? If not, well, settle in, because today we're about to explore a topic that's both incredibly fascinating and kinda unsettling. You remember the Elsagate scandal, right? That was a total and complete mess. If you didn't know, YouTube was riddled with videos featuring Elsa, Spider-Man, and other kid favorite characters doing stuff, well, that's not exactly PG. Now, flash forward a few years into the future, and it looks like history's repeating itself, this time with a series called Skibidi Toilet. Yeah, I wonder what things could be shown to kids that involve toilets, but say, what the heck is Skibidi Toilet anyways? In their most basic form, they're simply toilets with human heads that are grotesquely stretched out, singing and causing trouble. To make it more interesting, the trouble giant toilet monsters cause then escalate their existence by taking over cities, and they end up waging war with these camera-headed men, who seemingly can only temporarily defeat these toilets. It's some bizarre, wacky stuff for sure, but hey, it's got the internet hooked. But here's the catch. Just like any of the toys and characters related to Elsagate, many Skibidi themed videos are being shown to kids en masse. And if it's not already increasing in frequency, then it surely is on the way up. To me, it's raising a lot of the same red flags that Elsagate did, as a younger audience is consuming more of this type of content. Do you remember how the Elsagate videos managed to sneak into the YouTube Kids app by using deceptive tags? Well, Skibidi Toilet themed videos might be running the same playbook. You see, YouTube's algorithm is notoriously hard to predict and game, but it's not impossible. And if there's one thing that creators know how to do, it's making sure that their content gets eyeballs and clicks. So what happens when the Skibidi Toilet videos, which are jam-packed full of action and intense visuals, end up in the recommended section of millions of viewers, many of whom are kids? You'll get unscrupulous content creators who then will take the visuals and name of the brand, inject their own lore and content, and boom, off to the interwebs for millions of young viewers to see. Now, it's not just Elsa, Spider-Man, Huggy Wuggy that are making kids ask awkward questions anymore. Now we've got terrifying toilets and TV men too. But let's rewind a bit and revisit the Elsagate scandal to understand the similarities better. So, Elsagate was a controversy that hit YouTube around 2017. You had these videos featuring popular children's characters, and the content was downright disturbing and inappropriate. And these videos, by the way, which numbered in the thousands, got millions upon millions of views. Why? Because they gamed the algorithm. They used popular tags, increased comments and views, which basically tricked the system into thinking that they were child-friendly due to their lively activity. Although YouTube eventually did crack down on it by deleting the channels and tightening policies, the damage was done. Parents and guardians became wary, and the reputation of YouTube Kids took a nosedive. The underlying trend here is the way in which the many unscrupulous content creators exploit the system to get views, always focusing on what is more popular. In fact, focusing on what is most popular with what kids are most interested in. And as we've seen with Elsagate, the unscrupulous content creators leverage popular characters to attract attention. And while Skibidi Toilet may not have Elsa, but it's got an army of toilet-headed men and camera-headed dudes. Pair this with the intense visuals that is provided by the iconic SFM animation engine, makes the content more appealing to the younger crowd. And let's not forget, these aren't just isolated videos, they're a part of a whole series. I should make this clear before continuing, but I don't see anything inherently wrong with Skibidi Toilet. I think it's amazing that a small little joke actually turned into a large and popular series with extended lore behind it that just keeps getting more action-packed and better. My problem lies with the unscrupulous content creators and their clear introduction and insinuation of adult themes that are pushed to a particular demographic of audience that is downright unethical, because because now it soon won't just be about toilets battling TV men, but now we'll battle with themes that could be traumatizing to some viewers, especially kids. Remember how the series involves the TV man? Well, it didn't take too long for his perfect half, TV woman, to appear, beginning in episode 49, and as such, many fans found themselves to be quite enamored with the character, making a litany of fan art and memes in response. Now, think of it, you've got fan content, memes, and even parody videos that are contributing to the virality of the series, and with this increased attention, the unscrupulous creators took advantage of the hype by creating their own scenes with this character. Take a look at the many videos that have sexually suggestive implications. In fact, some of these videos even have the same themes as Elsagate videos, such as captivity and pregnancy. You have to ask yourself, what are kids taking away from this? And remember, Elsagate had near identical issues. Beneath the veil of animated fun, these videos tap into themes that are definitely not suitable for young audiences. And regarding the protection of young audiences, one of the most prominent criticisms during the Elsagate scandal was the role of YouTube. The platform was accused of not doing enough to moderate content and to protect the millions of younger viewers who were ultimately exposed to the dark content. YouTube did eventually take action by deleting channels and implementing stricter guidelines, but many felt that it was too little, too late. And now with Skibidi Toilet gaining traction, it raises the same questions again about what YouTube is doing to prevent another scandal. It's also important to remember that YouTube shares in the financial gains from these videos, which should show us which of the two they hold to be more important, money or kid safety. In an ideal world, they would obviously pick the latter, but given their actions during 2017, I think that it's quite reasonable for people to doubt that YouTube will even do much. I suppose, however, that only time will tell if the same effects of Elsagate will be felt from this new incoming wave of garbage. And I definitely understand how easy it is to blame YouTube and the content creators for these issues, but I always wonder about where parental responsibility comes into play in all of this, because during Elsagate, public awareness played a massive role in bringing millions of parents to light about the dangers of an unmonitored session of YouTube Kids. Parents need to be vigilant about what their kids are watching because we've seen time and time again that parental controls and guidelines can only go so far. And whether it's Elsagate or Skibidi Toilet, parents can't entirely rely on platforms to babysit their children. It's too ideal to think that the unscrupulous will sit at the guidelines and think to themselves, dang, they really got us here, wouldn't want to break those rules. Because unfortunately, someone will always seek to find a loophole through the rules. And both Elsagate and Skibidi Toilet bring up larger questions about the role of the internet as a whole in shaping young minds. It's not just about one series or one scandal. No, it's about how easy it is for harmful content to infiltrate spaces meant for children. And as technology evolves, the risks evolve as well. And in today's world, we've got deepfakes, virtual reality, and in the future, one can only guess what else is coming. The battle to keep the internet safe for kids is only going to get more complicated, similar to how the toilets keep coming back, despite their setbacks with the TV Alliance. So now I ask you, will Skibidi Toilet become the face of this new Elsagate 2.0? There are a lot of similarities here, with both videos having a fan base that is predominantly kids. And while the fate of Skibidi Toilet remains uncertain, what is clear is that we've been down this road before and it didn't end well the last time. And whether it's Elsa and Spider-Man or toilets and camera-headed people, one thing's certain: we need to be vigilant about where unscrupulous content creators are trying their hand to influence, traumatize, and confuse unwitting audience members, because this definitely won't be the last time we'll be dealing with a situation like this.